coming, guys. I had to make my coffee. Sorry about that. Fuck. Shouldn't have looked to my left, to my right. I should have just kept looking forward. Let's get back to this dead body over here on the left. Guy right in front of me. Let's get back to this dead body over here on the left. Oh, fuck. That was unbelievable. The reload speed on that fucking shit was unbelievable. That Vanguard helped us out a lot, a lot. God damn, man. I hate motherfuckers that sit back and just snipe. I mean, I like good snipers, but some snipers that just hold back is very tough. Because when your whole team goes down in the front lines, the sniper can't do nothing. And then they're going to get the recon tower and they're going to give away his position and he's going to be dead. Now, if you're a smart sniper and you move around and, you know, they know where you're at and then you flank and try to get your guys up, I'm with that program. Which is what he might be trying to do. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Now I give him 1 minute and he's dead. 40 seconds. Ooh. Good snipe. Knocked him off that shit. They know where you're at though. That loud ass motherfucking sniper rifle. You shoot that motherfucker, that big old yellow ball lights right up on the fucking map. He's alright, man. He's trying to do his job. Right below you, brother. Got one above you. Got one right below you. Turn around. Told you to turn around. He's right above you. You jump down. He's right there on the bottom. Right on the bottom. Good shit, brother. God damn. If he pulls this off, you're a beast. He's coming up. He's coming up right there in front of you. God, what a fucking beast. What a fucking beast. Turn, run, get your... All I was going to say, run, get your guys up. That would have been awesome. Great job. Great fucking job, man. I gotta give him credit. He played that good. Really good.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect words that make your writing sharp, or explicit, or excellent, or distinctive. As a matter of fact, for what it's worth, Grammarly can, yeah, that's long. We can get rid of that, and this, good, and this, or how. This guy has never been grocery shopping. Like, ever. He probably tried it once, but the first thing you see when you walk in is the produce aisle, so he just walked right back out. He was like, ew, vegetables, gross. Oh, groceries, I get it now. One day I'll be president. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You tell me that one, okay? Okay, I've never heard a windmill before, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't sound like a cat in a dryer. Wow, wow. And don't get me started on solar panels. And what about hydropower? You know the sound water makes. China and the United States are in a face-off, a battle for the ages. Whoever controls 5G is going to have an enormous strategic advantage in the future. If we don't win the race to 5G, America might never really become that leading superpower again. Senator Marco Rubio compares the race to 5G to the space race with the Soviets of the 50s. Yeah, this is serious, folks. And I know right now what you're thinking. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe America might lose the race for 5G. And you're also thinking, what is 5G?
grounded, but not the ones flying. They can land first, then they will be grounded. Some people didn't understand how you can ground a plane in the sky, but I'm not those people. I knew always those ones will be grounded. So as of today, any plane that might be unsafe to fly will be grounded until it can be repainted with Spirit Airlines on the side. Spirit Airlines, how are we not grounded? This has been a wild week for the Trump presidency, making it the 124th wild presidency week in a row. It started a few days ago when Trump averted a crisis of his own making by deciding not to impose tariffs on Mexico because he said he made a deal. However, critics pointed out that many of the things that Mexico promised to do to stop illegal immigration were the same promises that they had made months before. But then Trump came back saying that he had a secret deal with Mexico, which no one believed. So yesterday, he did this.
Do you have an agreement with Mexico to become a safe third country for asylum seekers?
That's the agreement that everybody says they don't have. So, no, because I'm going to let Mexico do the announcement at the right time. From Mexico, they want to go through, but here's the agreement. It's a very simple agreement.
Okay. There are two possibilities here, and neither of them are good. Either the president just whipped out a takeout menu and claimed it's a secret agreement with Mexico, which it could be, or it's a real agreement, and the president is just walking around with secret documents in his pocket. Like the same guy who was worried about Hillary's server getting hacked by Russians, meanwhile he could get hacked by a gust of wind. Or even worse, a pigeon could just be like, and here it is, the secret document that, stop that pigeon! Stop that pigeon! It's headed to the Kremlin! With all the support behind him, President Trump decided to plow forward on proving his case for a border wall. So today, the commander-in-chief put on his travel Barbie outfits and flew down to the southern border to get a first-hand account of the situation. And while he was there, he gave us all a drunk history lesson.
They say a wall is medieval. Well, so is a wheel. A wheel is older than a wall. And I looked at every single car out there, even the really expensive ones that the Secret Service uses, and believe me, they are expensive. I said, do they all have wheels? Yes. Oh, I thought it was medieval. The wheel is older than the wall. You know that? And there are some things that work. You know what? A wheel works and a wall works.
You know, if a football player got up after a tackle and started talking like that, the trainer would be like, we need to get you to the locker room now. Your brain is not okay. And just by the way, I can't believe we have to say this. If there are any kids watching that are going to use this on a history test, walls are actually much older than the wheel. Like 6,000 years older than the wheel. Like back in the day, cavemen had walls. So I guess people should stop calling Trump a Neanderthal because a Neanderthal would know that. Hashtag not my Neanderthal. President Trump is demanding $5 billion from U.S. taxpayers to fund the wall, which is weird because during the campaign, he might have mentioned once or twice another idea for where the wall money would come from.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mexico is going to pay for the wall.
Only thing worse than one Trump is many Trumps. Mexico's gonna pay for it. That was Trump's signature catchphrase. More than any other catchphrase. More than you're fired. More than make America great again. Even more than don't tell my wife about this. But we never should have actually believed that Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Because every time someone asked Trump how Mexico would pay, he had a completely different explanation.
There will be a payment. It will be in a form, perhaps a complicated form. One way or the other, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. That's right. It may be through reimbursement, but one way or the other, Mexico will pay for the wall. The wall will pay for itself on a monthly basis.
rather try and make Canada pay for the wall. He's just like, yeah, Canada's gonna pay. I mean, yeah, actually Canada's gonna pay. I might make them pay for the wall. And shame, Canada is so nice, they'd probably do it. They'd be like, this one already bought us, but I guess we'll pay, eh? Also, what did that mean when he's like, the wall will pay for itself monthly? He made it sound like Americans gonna go to the wall and be like, you got our money, wall? Since just yesterday, the president has given not one, not five, but 3 separate interviews. I don't know why I said it that way, but what's important is that President Trump has been sharing his thoughts on a variety of topics, including his favorite Chinese hoax, climate change.
Yesterday, when the Associated Press told him that scientists say it is nearing a point where this can't be reversed, Trump responded, no, some say that and some say differently. I mean, you have scientists on both sides of it. My uncle was a great professor at MIT for many years, Dr. John Trump, and I didn't talk to him about this particular subject, but I have a natural instinct for science.
Okay, that's interesting. Just in case you missed that, Trump says he doesn't believe in man-made climate change because his uncle was a scientist, and that means that Trump has a natural instinct for science. Now, he also says he never spoke to his uncle about climate change. He just has the science knowledge. You know, it's in his blood, right? Now, I think that's cholesterol, but that's not the point. Like, none of this makes any sense. Just because his uncle was good at science doesn't mean that Trump is good at science. That's not how it works. If a pilot has a heart attack, they never like, is anyone on this plane related to a pilot? My cousin watched that Sully movie once. All right, you land the plane.
President Trump explaining why he is so skeptical of his own administration's report on the dire consequences of climate change. He tells the Washington Post, quote, one of the problems that a lot of people like myself, we have very high levels of intelligence, but we're not necessarily such believers. You look at our air and our water, and it's right now at a record clean.
Clearly, the president doesn't believe in the science or the English. Because if you're trying to say you're too smart to believe in climate change, it doesn't help when your argument ends with, it's right now at a record clean. Like, it makes him sound super dumb. Or maybe Trump is so intelligent that he's leaving English behind. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, he's developing something totally new. You know, like he's like those aliens from the movie Arrival. Like, we just need Amy Adams to interpret for us.
There's a cooling and there's a heating, there's a warming, there's climate change. They go now. It's sort of I hear a lot of extreme weather. If it's cold, it's okay. If it's hot, it's okay. If it's windy, if it's not, if you have to, everything's extreme. Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
She was trying. She was really trying.
I need backup over here, guys.
The East Coast. Everyone is preparing for the worst.
We have something, it could very well be very similar to Texas in the sense that it's tremendous amounts of water. It's tremendously big and tremendously wet.
So elegant. So elegant. Trump sounds like he's doing a book report on hurricanes, and he forgot to read the book. Like, tremendously big and tremendously wet. A lot of people don't know this. The rain is coming from the top. From the top.
John Flaney. John Flaney.
Thank you so much for doing this.
It's great to be here today.
So what are we going to learn about today?
Our first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, ran his first campaign for public office in 1832 when he was only 23 years old. He began by imagining
I'm sorry, the midgeting?
the benefits a railroad could bring to his part of Illinois without ever having seen a steam-powered train. He had no idea. 30 years later, as president, Lincoln signed the law that built the first transcontinental railroad, uniting our country from ocean to ocean. Great president. Most people don't even know he was a Republican, right? Does anyone know?
people don't know that.
I knew, but yeah, sure.
And then, in the American Civil War, a true great fighter and a great general, Robert E. Lee.
Oh, we're learning about him now? Okay.
Robert E. Lee was winning battle after battle after battle.
And I'll tell you what,
Abraham Lincoln came home and said, I can't beat Robert E. Lee. And he had all of these generals. They looked great. They were the top of their class at West Point. They were the greatest people. There's only one problem. They didn't know how the hell to win. They didn't know how to fight. They didn't know how. And one day, it was looking really bad. And Lincoln just said, you hardly knew his name. And they said, don't take him. He's got a drinking problem. And Lincoln said, I don't care what problem he has. You guys aren't winning. And his name was Grant, General Grant.
it's unbelievable, isn't it? Isn't it unbelievable? It's unbelievable.
And he went in and he knocked the hell out of everyone. And you know the story. They said to Lincoln, you can't use him anymore. He's an alcoholic. And Lincoln said, I don't care if he's an alcoholic. Frankly, give me 6 or 7 more just like him. Grant really did. He had a serious problem, a serious drinking problem. But man, was he a good general. And he's finally being recognized as a great general.
Sure is, yeah.
Grant figured it out, and Grant is a great general.
Ulysses says,
American rapper A$AP Rocky has been detained by Swedish police for his involvement in a suspected assault. And now he spent almost 3 weeks in jail. Now, luckily for A$AP, he has some powerful friends lobbying for his release. And this is not like the usual hashtag stuff. No, these friends have gone straight to the top.
A host of celebrities have been calling for his release, including Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, who have been lobbying the White House. And now President Trump is using the weight of his office to get A$AP Rocky out of jail.
I personally don't know A$AP Rocky, but I can tell you that he has tremendous support from the African American community in this country. When I say African American, I think I can really say from everybody in this country, because we're all one.
That's right, folks. We're all one. And anyone who doesn't agree with that can go back to their shit old country. Send it back. Send it back. You know, this is one of those moments where I genuinely cannot believe that we're living in real life. No, because it's just, like, listen to the story. Donald Trump, who is the president of the United States, got a call from his friend, Kanye West, to save a rapper from a Swedish prison. This sounds like a headline written by a newspaper on LSD. It's just like the craziest shit ever. What's also insane, just by the way, is how like powerful Kanye West is in the situation. It's almost like he uses his MAGA hat like a magic lamp. He just like rubs it and then
legislation that talks about her announcing her run from inside the Mississippi River. Kamala Harris's website here says Kamala Harris wasted her life defending the values of her country.
And I don't even know why Fox News is laughing at this, right? All the people, they can't laugh. Because, I mean, if they watched their boy Trump a few days ago, they would have seen him struggling to translate English into English.
No collusion, no obstruction. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started.
I like how he goes away from the word oranges at the beginning, right? At the beginning, he's like, oh, let's go to the beginnings. And then he gets confident, he's like, no, I got this. Oranges, God damn it. The oranges. Can you imagine if you're an immigrant who learned English from listening to Donald Trump? You wouldn't make any sense. Like, if you spoke like Trump, you probably wouldn't pass your citizenship test, right? Someone would be there like, the oranges of America have inspired me bigly. And be like, sir, your citizenship is denied. Oh, come on, don't be a kofifi, eh?
John Splaney.
Hey. Welcome to the Set of Power. What's up, Power fans? This is it, the moment you've all been waiting for. In case you didn't know, I'm Stephen A. Smith, and you won't believe where I am today. I'm right here on the set of Power for the filming of season 6, where I've been granted exclusive access. Come on, y'all. Let's go.
Today is the first day of production on Power Season 6.
Welcome to the set of Power. I am so excited to get started. Are you?
It's like I've been coming back to my family.
The best show on TV is back again, season 6. What happens to Dre? You gotta tune in.
Here's what I can promise you. Bodies will drop. Will mine drop? I hope not.
I wish I knew what I could expect. I mean, the stakes are getting turned way up.
Hey, Power fans. Will Angela live or die? Tune in to find out what happens.
To our 9.6 million fans who faithfully watch our show, we can't thank you enough.
I think it's safe to say we're in for the craziest season yet. And guess what, Power fans? We're just getting started. We've got visits with daily departing characters from
And thanks to at home for joining us this hour. Okay, if you drive north from San Francisco, you cross the Golden Gate Bridge, you will soon find yourself on Highway 101, headed into the northern part of Northern California. And if you keep going straight up that highway, about 120 miles up Highway 101 from San Francisco, you get to a place called Ukiah. And 33 years ago, in July 1984, on Highway 101, just outside Ukiah, California, there was an armored truck that was traveling up that highway in broad daylight, and the truck got ambushed. It was a portion of Highway 101 that was on an uphill climb. The armored car was fully loaded, had to slow down as it was chugging up that incline. And that's when the robbers struck. There were other drivers who saw it happen. This was in broad daylight, and they described a pretty professional operation. 2 pickup trucks were involved. Once the armored car started to slow down on that uphill climb, one of the pickup trucks pulled in right behind it, and then another pickup truck pulled in right in front of it. So one right behind, one right in front. They're boxing in that armored car as it was laboring up that incline. And then in what appeared to be a well-coordinated action, guys with guns leaned out of the 2 pickup trucks, one in front of, one behind of the armored car, and they shot out the tires of the armored car. And that forced the armored car to a stop. There were reportedly 6 gunmen altogether. All of them had their faces covered up with bandanas or ski masks. There's 3 guys in each of these 2 pickups. After they brought the armored car to a halt, they then used high-powered guns, maybe rifles of some kind, to shoot out the reinforced glass on the armored vehicle. And that's how they got inside it. They got the doors open, and they took off with 10 to 15 in these 2 pickup trucks. They dumped them somewhere nearby, and then they got into a different vehicle and they sped off. It was fast, it was professional, it was a very heavily armed operation, and it turns out they got a huge haul from that one armored car heist. $3.6 million in cash from that one armored car. And some of the money disappeared, was never accounted for again. But when the government filed its indictment the following year against the gang that had pulled off that heist on Highway 101 in Northern California, the government in its filings said that they had been able to trace some of the cash that was stolen from that armored car in Ukiah. And the list of where that money went changed everything. $300 million went to a particularly virulent and violent chapter of the Ku Klux Klan in North Carolina. Another aggressively organizing Klan leader in California got $250,000. The National Alliance, a Nazi group based in Washington, D.C., they got $50,000. The Aryan Nations up in northern Idaho, they got $40,000. That one heist, that Ukiah armored car heist, it wasn't just a huge multi-million-dollar robbery. It was also supposed to fund the start of the next Civil War in the United States of America. The guys who robbed that armored car on Highway 101 back in 1984, they were part of a neo-Nazi gang that called itself the Order. And the Order is best remembered now for having assassinated this man, a Jewish talk radio host in Denver in 1984, a man named Alan Berg. But most of the crimes committed by the Order weren't just straight murder and assassination, which we remember them for now. Most of their crimes were about money. When they robbed armored cars, and they robbed video stores, and they robbed banks, all of these robberies that they committed, all up and down the West Coast, they were all designed to collect cash, to arm and fund a violent movement that was going to wage a race war in America. A race war that would ultimately create a whites-only homeland in the United States. And these guys in this gang, the Order, they weren't the only people who had that idea at the time. A year after the Order was indicted and that whole gang went on trial, it was a married couple in Wyoming. A married couple stormed this elementary school in Cookeville, Wyoming. And the couple took hostages. They had guns and bombs. They took 150 kids and teachers hostage at that elementary school. They held them all hostage for 2.5 hours. They had a ransom demand. In exchange for the lives of all of those kids and teachers, the couple demanded a multi-million-dollar ransom that they said they would use to finance a white supremacist revolution for a new white separatist homeland in America. In addition to their guns, that couple who took all those kids and teachers hostage, they brought in bombs, as I said, but they were homemade gasoline bombs. Ultimately, a bunch of the kids who they took hostage ended up getting burned. But the only people who died that day were the 2 hostage takers. Throughout the 1980s into the 1990s, there were regular national white supremacist meetings. They called them the annual Aryan Nations Congresses up in northern Idaho. They held a big piece of land up there until things started to fall apart for them, the Aryan Nations, in 1998. A bunch of Aryan Nations security guards were out patrolling while drunk one night. They ended up beating up and shooting at a Native American mom and her son who'd had the misfortune to pass by while the drunk Nazi guards were out patrolling the perimeter of that Aryan Nation's land. Ultimately, a lawsuit was brought on behalf of the woman and her son by the Southern Poverty Law Center, and in that legal strategy, they basically came up with a way to bankrupt the Nazis into losing that land up in northern Idaho. The Nazis were forced to vacate, and then the town's fire department got both great practice and great satisfaction out of systematically burning down all the Nazis' buildings one by one after they'd been evicted via bankruptcy.
Zillow welcomes you home. Because we're reimagining how people rent with a new shopping experience and the most rental properties, so you never miss out on a home you'll love.
The United States of America, the modern United States of America, has a stubborn problem with neo-Nazism and overt, violent white supremacy. It always seems amazing every time it surfaces, but we have always had it. And over time, they go through various ridiculous and self-important names and iterations and patterns of symbolic behavior, right? But over time, it's all the same basic idea, and at its core, it's always violent, right? It's the order, it's the Klan, it's the Aryan nations, it's the Christian identity movement. Now they want to be called the alt-right. Okay, whatever. Their ideas are not new. Their violence is not new. As a country, we have weathered extreme incidents of their violence, even just in the modern era. The Oklahoma City bombing in 1995 killed 168 people, including dozens of kids, brought down a federal building. Today, a 23-year-old extremist from Oklahoma has been arraigned for trying to blow up a bank in Oklahoma City to try and follow in Timothy McVeigh's footsteps. In 2012, a neo-Nazi covered in swastika tattoos who played in a bunch of white power bands, he stormed into a Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. He shot and killed 6 people in the temple, shot and wounded 4 others. In 2015, another white supremacist shot and killed 9 people, shot and wounded 3 others at a landmark African-American church in Charleston, South Carolina. Noted for that shooting is that he was hoping to start a race war. They're all hoping to start a race war. They're always trying to do that. This is a persistent infection in white American culture. And it can be quite fatal. And what I've learned over the course of my 44 years is that this infection in modern American white culture doesn't get better over time. And apparently it never goes away. We are having a particularly bad outbreak of it right now, this year. February, Olathe, Kansas, 2 Indian engineers shot in a bar by a guy who was screaming racial and religious slurs at them. One of the engineers was killed, the other one was wounded, as was a bystander who tried to save them. That was February. And in March, Midtown Manhattan, a 66-year-old African-American man, literally minding his own business, walking down the street, attacked and stabbed to death at random by a white man with a sword who drove to New York City from Maryland specifically because that's where he thought he could get the most media attention for his plot to kill random black men on the street. That was March. In May, Portland, Oregon, 2 girls on a commuter train subjected to a torrent of racial and religious abuse by a guy who was screaming at them and threatening them. Passers-by intervene on behalf of the girls. 2 of them get killed, 1 of them seriously wounded. That happened the same week that this young man, a student at Bowie State University, was stabbed and killed 3 days before he was due to graduate, and just after he had been commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant in the United States Army. The young white student who killed him was a member of hardcore right-wing online groups. That was in May. And now this weekend, Charlottesville, Virginia, a torch-lit neo-Nazi white supremacist march and rally is followed the next morning by a young man who's described as a Nazi sympathizer driving his car at speed into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing 1 and injuring 19 others. We are experiencing something right now that is not new, but we are having a particularly bad outbreak of it this year. And even if you are cognizant and aware of the long history of this stuff that we've got to contend with as a country, with this problem in American culture and politics, there are, I think, 2 things that are going on right now in this particular outbreak we are having of violent white supremacism. I think there are 2 things, despite that long history, being cognizant of that long history and that violent past that we've got, I think we've got 2 things going on right now that are unusual, that are unprecedented. And that just means it's hard to predict what's going to happen next. Even with all the understanding that we have of how this has proceeded in the past, there are 2 things about what's going on right now that are different that I think make it hard to understand where this is going this time. One of the things that's different is very practical, and one of them is political. The practical difference is, it's a very, very granular thing, but it may end up being very important. It's the public identifiability of the participants here. You know, robbing a Brinks truck on Highway 101 in California in 1984, those guys wore ski masks, or they wore bandanas over their faces. You know, going to the Aryan Nations Congress in the early 90s up in Hayden Lake in Idaho, that was so far off the grid, those guys felt safe making their homeland up there because in part nobody could find them. even in white power culture and white power music and gangs, there's always been an element of covert organizing. Right? That's what the hoods are all about. But when these guys all turned up at the University of Virginia on Friday night, yes, it was the Venn diagram overlap between stupid and threatening, that they're all standing there in torchlight, right? They're all standing there holding hardware store tiki torches while yelling their Nazi slogans. But however you felt about that emotionally, seeing it, those torches also made for some really good lighting in terms of seeing what those guys all look like. And there was, honestly, with cell phone technology now and the way that we cover our social interactions as humans, there was at least one camera there for every single human being who was on site yelling Nazi slogans and carrying a torch. And because of all those recognizable faces, there has been this interesting sidebar of news all day long today where these neo-Nazis and white supremacists and white separatists who showed up on tape and in pictures being at that rally on Virginia on Friday night, there's been this interesting sidebar in the news all day where you see them all losing their jobs today, or being denounced by their families, or having to explain to their college campuses who they really are and what they really think and what they were doing there. That's a very practical, somewhat small, granular thing, but that will become an ongoing wild card for this movement and for this ongoing violent scourge in the United States that we faced for so long. Every single person who showed up at that torchlit rally on Friday night will forever be identifiable as a person who went to the rally. It's going to end up being important that they all showed their faces. They were all very well lit. They were all very, very well photographed. Anybody who was just, flirting with white supremacy, because it's the hot new thing in conservative politics in the Trump era. Anybody who was just there on a whim, who's finding themselves and wondering if maybe they're a Nazi, they will find for the rest of their life that they are identified as a neo-Nazi or a white supremacist for having been at that event. None of them will ever be able to change that. You think having an embarrassing Facebook feed is going to affect your ability to get jobs after grad school? Right. Imagine what it's going to do to you for the rest of your life if you're well lit, on camera, well defined, identifiable, and named as having been one of these guys punching up counter protesters while screaming Nazi salutes at the University of Virginia in 2006.
Oh, I got desertion. That shit is weak, man.
To do this by torchlight, that might have been dumb. It may have also been genius on the part of the organizers to basically lock in lifelong commitment from these guys who were willing to show their faces, to quite literally show their faces at that event on Friday night. For all of those hundreds of guys who were there on Friday night, they are now in it for life. So that's one wild card. That is legitimately new in terms of how these movements have operated in modern history. That's the practical thing. The political thing, the other thing that's new here is, of course, for the first time ever in modern American history, these guys think they have a champion not just in politics, but in mainstream politics. I mean, David Duke ran for governor in Louisiana, and there have always been a House member here or there who was willing to associate him or herself with the militia movement or otherwise flirt with the extremes, right? But we have never before had the persistent neo-Nazi and white separatist violent right in this country associate themselves so openly and so lovingly with a serving president. And there's been a lot of talk today and over the weekend about what that association means for this president and how this president talks about that movement. But I think it's also worth looking at what that means, what that connection to a presidency means for these neo-Nazis. What it means for this thing we can't get rid of, for this persistent source of violence and extremism and terrorism in American culture. We've seen that subculture wreak havoc in various ways, by various criminal means, every decade we have existed as a country. We have never seen one allied with a sitting U.S. president. What does that mean about where that movement goes from here? That's a headline. Stay with us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.
In 1924, the Democratic Party needed to pick a presidential nominee to run against Calvin Coolidge, and they knew it was going to be hard. Coolidge was fairly popular. He had become president when Warren Harding keeled over and died in office. Harding's vice president was Coolidge. That's how Coolidge got to be president in the first place. As president, Coolidge was pretty widely liked. He was overseeing a pretty good economy. He was running basically as an incumbent to try to hold on to that seat. And the Democrats knew that Coolidge was going to be hard to beat in 1924. But the Democrats headed into their convention that year in the hot summer of 1924, intending to pick somebody to run against Coolidge. And they at least felt like they had a couple of good candidates to choose between. Again, this is a time when they chose their nominees not in a primary process so much as just at the convention, at the big meeting of the National Party. So when the Democrats converged in New York City the summer of 1924, they knew they had two frontrunners for the nomination. One was a Democrat named Al Smith, who was very popular. He was the governor of New York at the time. His chief rival for the nomination that year was a guy named William Gibbs McAdoo. McAdoo was originally from Tennessee. He ultimately became a senator from California in the Woodrow Wilson administration. McAdoo was Secretary of the Treasury, and he pulled off the major coup of marrying President Wilson's daughter while Wilson was president and while McAdoo was serving as Secretary of the Treasury. They held the wedding at the White House. It was this big society deal. He was a very high-profile Secretary of the Treasury, to say the least. So McAdoo is the son-in-law of the former president. He himself is a former Treasury Secretary. He is a senator. He's very rich. He's got ties both to the West and to the South. He'd been the vice chairman of the Democratic Party. He was very, very, very well connected. And in fact, the last time Democrats had needed to pick a presidential candidate, 4 years earlier in 1920, they very nearly picked McAdoo. In 1920, a lot of Democrats thought that they should have, and they might have done better with him in 1920 than with the guy who they ultimately picked, who lost. So, heading into 1924,
man, I wish you guys would do a little
Al
bit
Smith
better
had a
doing
pretty
some
good
killing,
shot getting the
man.
nomination.
No mics in
But
this fucking
William
room, man.
McAdoo,
No
he was a
mics. You
really
guys
close
are just
as
playing to
well.
play the game.
And
You
McAdoo
know,
had won
there's
a
been one ping the whole time.
had a secret weapon.
You guys don't want to play, man. Go play
Which
a
he also
campaign
had
if you don't want to play over here, man.
This was 1924. Ku Klux Klan was absolutely ascendant in that part of the 1920s. The racist seminal film Birth of a Nation that glorified the Klan, that film had come out in 1915 and swept the nation. It had helped revivify the Klan from its old days in the Civil War era and the Reconstruction era. The Klan
hope you're
got
not on my
more
side
wind
talking
in
that
their
shit.
sails when they became one of the major powers pushing for prohibition. Looking back on prohibition, it still seems like one of the more unlikely things in American history we ever as a country would have decided, right? To ban alcohol as a country? Really? We decided that? But an unsung but important part of why that happened was the Klan supporting prohibition. And by the time the Democratic Party was making this hard choice about who they were going to pick to be their nominee for president in 1924, the Klan thought it should have a say. The Klan was big enough, confident enough, widespread enough in terms of their reach that they really thought that they should get to make the call as to who the Democratic Party would pick for their presidential nominee that year. And again, the two strong frontrunners for the nomination that year were that guy, William Gibbs McAdoo, and Al Smith. And you know what? For the Klan, that was a really easy pick because Al Smith was a Catholic. And the Klan was as anti-Catholic as they were anti-Semitic and anti-Black. So they're not going to pick Al Smith. The Klan went all in for William Gibbs McAdoo. And the Klan ended up being absolutely central to the fight for the presidential nomination that year. An anti-McAdoo delegate from Alabama, of all places, put forward a plank for the party platform that year that would have condemned the Klan, denounced the Klan. The fight over whether or not to approve that anti-Klan plank for the party platform absolutely convulsed the convention that summer. They were literally fighting in the aisles. They at one point called in 1,000 policemen to break up the brawling on the floor of the convention. Ultimately, the anti-Klan plank in the party platform, it was voted down. It was voted down by one vote. Politico.com did a retro report on this a little bit more than a year ago, and they surfaced this old headline from the contemporaneous coverage. As you can see, it's the Baltimore Sun. Anti-Klan plank loses by 541 3/20 of a vote to 542 3/20 of a vote. Riotous scenes marked the roll call. And you see just below that's a little blurry, but you can see it there. Bedlam over the Klan. Second poll is required to settle the question on this Klan question. And then actually in the little chart there in the third column, it's the list of all the people at the convention who voted how on the Klan plank. It was not big a deal. Failed by one vote. And when the anti-Klan, so the pro-Klan side won, right? When the anti-Klan plank lost by that one vote, 20,000 masked, hooded Klansmen rallied across the Hudson River in New Jersey to mark the moment. They didn't think they'd be able to rally in New York City, not with their robes and their masks. So they crossed over to New Jersey and they showed force, 20,000 of them. They had an effigy of New York Governor Al Smith, that Catholic. They had an effigy of Al Smith at their rally and they beat it up and tore it apart. But then the convention had to move on to picking its nominee, right? You're gonna pick the Klan candidate? The candidate who was clearly favored by the Klan, who wouldn't denounce them, who wouldn't say a word against them at a convention that couldn't approve an anti-Klan plank? Or are you going to pick the Catholic guy, the Catholic governor of New York, Al Smith? I mean, if that's the split in your party, how do you bridge that kind of split? For the Democratic Party that year in 1924, they couldn't bridge it. They started balloting, they started taking votes on who the delegates wanted to be their nominee, and honestly, they couldn't get there, and they couldn't get there, and they couldn't get there. That convention dragged on and on and on. In the July heat in Madison Square Garden, that thing went on for 16 days with thousands of people in there and no air conditioning, and the fights and the cops, and they kept going, ballot after ballot after ballot. Famously, that one ultimately went to 103 ballots. A record. And in the end, they couldn't decide. The Democrats finally, in the end, exhausted. They picked neither of their two candidates. They did not pick William McAdoo, nor did they pick Al Smith. They couldn't figure it out. They ended up just throwing in the towel. They picked some other guy named John Davis, who nobody knew and basically had no constituency. They were absolutely spent from their fight with the Klan and over the Klan that summer in New York.
Man, you guys suck,
John
man.
Davis half-heartedly.
Damn.
Trounced. Coolidge won the election. Coolidge was sworn in March of 1925. And the Klan, having flexed its muscles that way in national politics in the lead up to that election, Coolidge wasn't their guy. They wanted a Democrat in there. But they decided that once Coolidge was in there, it was time for them to make another show of political power. And this time they didn't just want to make it within one political party, particularly a political party out of power. This time they wanted to flex their muscles on the national stage. This picture is from August 1925. This is during the first year of Calvin Coolidge's presidency after the election in 1924. Michael Beschloss tweeted this out today. And those aren't like choir robes, right? Those are Klan robes. The Ku Klux Klan marching in full white hoods and robes down Pennsylvania Avenue, right through the heart of Washington, D.C. That was their show of national force in 1925. And then a year later, they decided to come back and do it again, but this time even bigger. In the fall of 1926, September 1926, the Ku Klux Klan held what they called their conclave, their national conclave in Washington, D.C. Second time they rallied, 1,000 strong in D.C. in 2 straight years. When they turned up in 1926, they turned out 50,000 masked, robed Klansmen who marched in formation through Washington, D.C. Most of these pictures are from the Library of Congress. No matter how many times I have seen them, no matter how many times I have gone through these pictures, I still have a hard time believing that that show of Klan force in Washington, D.C., I still have a hard time believing it's real. But that was real, though. 1926, 50,000 Klansmen marching in Washington, D.C. The following year, 1927, there was a Klan rally and march in New York City. It started off with a group of fascists, literally fascists, black shirts, who clashed with New York City police And then that melee was joined by about, according to contemporaneous news coverage, by about 1,000 Klansmen who turned out in New York, in Queens, to march against the police. The New York Times published at the time some of the text of the handbills, that the flyers that the Klan was distributing at the time, explaining why they were marching, why they were rallying. The headline on the flyer said, "Americans assaulted by Roman Catholic police of New York City." That was their explanation for why they had to go march against the police. And so in May of 1927, 1,000 Klansmen and some assorted fascists marched in Queens, in New York City, and they ultimately rioted and fought with police. Nobody was killed. There was a lot of news coverage of it at the time, which survives, both from the New York Times, from the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, from a few other papers. The police commissioner at the time made a point of telling the public that this was kind of a landmark moment for the Klan in New York City. It's not that he didn't know that the Klan was active in New York City. It's just that New York City had never before seen 1,000 Klansmen turn out in the streets in robes and masks, like they did in May 1927. According to news reports at the time, there were 7 men who were arrested at that Klan march in New York. One of them was Fred Trump, who was the father of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has previously responded to reporting about this incident by saying it never happened, never happened, never happened. The whole thing is made up. But there is contemporaneous news coverage that both describes and shows pictures of that mass Klan march, including Klansmen marching in New York City in hoods and robes, and his father's name does show up as one of the arrestees from that march. And the sins of the father are not the sins of the son, for anybody. But that is not a reason to ignore history and pretend that everything that's happening in our lifetimes is happening for the first time. I mean, we think of the Klan now in terms of its role as a terrorist organization during Reconstruction, during Jim Crow, during the civil rights eras in the South. We think of the Klan and their attendant modern white supremacist groups as a magnet for toothless losers and con artists and small-time violent thugs and some people who are just legitimately freaking nuts. But it's not ancient history. It's not even ancient family history to recognize that the white supremacist movement in this country, which persists decade after decade after decade, their goals have never been to just exist on the fringe as some sort of kooky throwback peanut gallery for parolees, right? I mean, their goals and their expectations have always been that they should exert real mainstream political power. That they should get to pick the president. At least they should get to pick who runs. I mean, what is unpredictable now is that we don't know what to expect from those groups going forward now that it's a modern president who appears to be picking them.
When you say the alt-right, define alt-right to me. You define it. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying,
No, define it for me. Come on, let's go.
Senator McCain defined them as the same group.
Okay, what about the alt-left that came charging at him? Excuse me. What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt? Not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch. Those people were also there because they wanted to protest the taking down of a statue, Robert E. Lee. So, excuse me, and you take a look at some of the groups and you see, and you know it if you were honest reporters, which in many cases you're not, but many of those people were there to protest the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. So, this week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week, and is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You know, you really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop? But they were there to protest, excuse me, you take a look the night before, they were there to protest the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee.
Kill the person, either high or down.
They showed up in Charlottesville.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down. And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. You had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
We're saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No.
I just don't understand what you're saying.
There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, there were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. You had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest and very legally protest.
After the president's remarks today, praising the white supremacist gathering in Charlottesville, Virginia this weekend, this became another one of those days where there was condemnation of the president from Democrats and observers. There was mild condemnation of the president from members of his own political party. There was an interesting thing that happened late this afternoon, early this evening, when some White House officials tried to distance themselves from the president's remarks as well. At least one senior official anonymously telling NBC News that members of the president's team were stunned by the president's words today. This one senior White House official telling reporters, telling NBC News that the president went rogue, that there was no expectation among the White House staff that the president was going to make remarks on this subject at all. And as much as some White House official might want us to believe that, it's clear that that account is not true. The Associated Press caught this great high-resolution shot of the president folding up notes, clearly about the white supremacist rally, and sticking them into his suit jacket pocket before he started taking questions on this today. The president was not there to talk about infrastructure today. He was obviously intending as well to talk about this matter today. He had prepared to talk about this matter today. White House staff will say that this was completely shocking to them, that he went rogue. He wasn't even supposed to touch this subject. Those members of the White House staff are covering for themselves and inventing something that happened today that makes them look better. That is not actually what happened. And this was a lot of things today. It was not apparently a mistake. And at some point, it's going to have to stop being treated as a surprise. This was not the president accidentally blundering into something that inadvertently sounded like sympathy for people with unpopular political views, right? I mean, this is on purpose. This is what it is meant to be. The president building up and trying to center up in American politics a long-standing force in white American politics and culture that we have been trained to think of as a fringe thing, but it does have a very long history and it does have real force. The president is not messing up here. He did not trip and accidentally praise white supremacists and neo-Nazis and pro-Confederate demonstrators who actually killed somebody this weekend. This was not a screw-up. What he is building back up is something that was a long-standing force for political power and terror in this country for generations. And he is now doing what he can to help them come back.
You're okay, Norm?
Come and go, right? The party having the huge fight over the Klan in 1924 was the party of the Civil Rights Act by 1964. Parties change. Partisan affiliations change. Ideological alliances come and go. Candidates come and go to the point where we can't even remember the names of most presidential candidates not too long down the road in history. But whether you voted for Trump or not, whether you have any partisan affiliation or not, whether your own family has ever lived through the terror that is this persistent, fascistic, violent, racist element of American culture. This persistent, fascistic, violent, racist element in American culture and politics is a real thing that we have lived through before as a country. And it waxes and wanes, but it has never really gone away. And now, the president, working overtly as president, is doing what he can to bring it back and build it up. And so far, honestly, it's working. Heads up, this is not a mistake. He is not screwing this up.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.
Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Joy. What a night to be alive, huh?
Wow. Yeah.
It's, you know, it is, I know, I mean,
you have kids. I know that you're a person who does not wantonly swear. I mean, this is one. I've never really had a night where it's very hard to cover what's going on in the news without saying stuff that it's really not okay to say on TV.
That's correct. That you have to actually curse to quote the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, and it's not just like cursing an exclamation, but it's like cursing in order to adequately do the story.
To do the story and talking about countries from which both of their parents are from. Both their parents' families are from. So.
Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated.
Bye.
We'll get through it.
Yep.
Thanks to you at home for joining us as well. All right. Last night, we closed this show with a short news item and a reference to something that had happened at the White House that apparently a lot of you guys thought was fake. I didn't realize that when I said it last night at the end of the show, but late last night after we were off the air and over the course of the day today, it became clear that lots of people who saw the end of the show last night thought that I was joshing. Thought that I was being hyperbolic or sarcastic when we reported at the end of the show last night that upon the visit of one particular world leader to our nation's capital yesterday, the White House had put out a written statement announcing her as the Prime Minister of Norway. We reported that last night. I now feel the need to clarify that I was not kidding when I said that. In fact, the White House did put out that announcement. Here's their daily guidance and press schedule that they sent out for yesterday. As you can see there, it says, quote, the president will then greet Prime Minister Erna Solberg of Norway. There's a lot of country names in the world that have lots of syllables or unfamiliar combinations of consonants and vowels that might make it hard for Americans to remember them. Norway is, Norway? Anyway. So that was strange that the White House put that out yesterday. And they never actually corrected it. So that is still officially the president's press schedule for yesterday. And this White House does stuff like that all the time. Right before the president went to Israel in May, the White House put out a statement saying the president was taking that trip to British Prime Minister Theresa May came to visit last year. The White House released a schedule for her visit that misspelled her name not once, not twice, but 3 times. The White House does this institutionally. The president does this kind of stuff himself. While the president yesterday was hosting the Prime Minister of Norway, he also announced that we had started selling that country our F-52 fighter jets. There is no such thing as an F-52 fighter jet.
In November, we started delivering the first F-52s and F-35 fighter jets.
There's no F-52s. It might be there's a B-52's cover band somewhere, but Washington Post today helpfully noted that there is a fake plane called the F-52 that features in the 2014 edition of Call of Duty, which is a video game. That's what it looks like when you're flying it in that video game, but don't let that extraneous factual information distract you, because obviously the Norwegians are way too smart to be tricked into buying a fake video game only fighter jet from the United States, regardless of what the president of the United States says about it. And then doesn't correct. This is setting wrong. This is good stuff. This is granular stuff every day. Every day in this White House. And we have learned to and move on. We proceed like it didn't happen. This White House, like no other White House before it, screws up even the most easiest stuff. And they have literally forgotten. Do you remember the commemorative inauguration poster? The big smiling picture of the president? That was the inauguration. Spell the word 2. This president puts out statements saying the nation needs to heal. H-E-E-L. Heal. That's not the way he means it. We have to heal, be stronger. This president, in a meeting in the cabinet room, once told a totally made-up story about President Obama not being allowed to land Air Force One in the Philippines. That is a false story. The president told it in the cabinet room. That was a false story. Then he told it again with even more completely made-up, embellished details to a group of reporters several days later. Because he liked the fake story so much, the first time he told it, he decided to keep telling it and to try to get it into the press. This morning, the president appears to have accidentally come out against his own surveillance policy because a guy on Fox and Friends told him to. And he didn't know enough about what his own policy is supposed to be to realize it was his own policy that Fox and Friends was telling him to denounce. It's every day, every giant obvious mistakes, inventing a country called Norway or Nambia or whatever the latest drunken swerve off of normal is. As a country, we have started to just learn to go with these things. I mean, sure, the American presidency may never be viewed quite the same way again. That whole esteem for the office thing will hopefully get sorted out by some later generation. We will always have to own the fact that ours is the generation that lost it. But on a day-to-day basis, as these things happen from this president, from this White House, we have just adapted to the new normal of enforcing incompetence, ignorance, and dishonesty. And I don't say that stuff lightly. It's just been a year now, and this is it. This is true. There's no reason to soft pedal it, right? Every day. And at the end of every day where it's happened again, it's like, well, okay, still standing. So I am uncomfortable with the piece that I have arrived at. It talks about the news revelation. I don't necessarily cover the president's tweets. I don't cover stuff said from the podium at the White House. I don't cover statements and lies from senior administration officials and the president himself and the vice president. I mostly try to stay away with it. I haven't even with myself about that granular, embarrassing. But there is stuff that happens on another level, even if we are encouraged to the office and the debasement of the institution of the White House. There is another level to his behavior, to which I think none of us are inured. I don't know how many more times he has to show it before we start getting inured to it. I do not look forward to that day. On December 23rd, right before Christmas this year, the New York Times article looking at the president's policies on immigration started the article with an anecdote that I don't think anybody quite knew what to do with. This is how the article started. Late in his own meeting and waving a sheet of numbers, President Trump stormed into the Oval Office one day in June. According to 6 officials who attended Oval Trump began reading aloud from the document that he had in his hand, which policy advisor Stephen Miller had given him just before the meeting. The document listed how many immigrants had received visas into the United States in 2017. More than 2,500 were from Afghanistan. The president complained that Afghanistan was a terrorist regime. The nation of Haiti had sent 15,000 people. The president grumbled that they, quote, all have AIDS. 40,000 people had come from the nation of Nigeria. Mr. Trump said once they had seen the United States, they would, quote, never go back to their huts in Africa. So this piece came out the day before Christmas Eve. The White House denied these claims and these quotes vehemently. White House press secretary called the story lies. White House officials, quote, strenuously insisted that Mr. Trump never used the word huts or AIDS to describe people from any country. The White House actually put out a statement in the name of a lot of the senior administration officials who were reportedly inside that meeting. They put out a statement in the name of those other people saying that they all, as a group, denied that Trump had used those words. For example, Secretary Tillerson, Secretary Nielsen, and all other senior staff actually in the meeting denied these outrageous claims. So there was this vehement White House denial. But the Times published its story. They stood by their reporting and they explained their sourcing. The president saying that people from Haiti all have AIDS was quoted according to one person who attended the meeting and another person who was briefed about it by a different person who was there. Coming from Nigeria going back to their huts, that was described at the Times by 2 officials. After the White House specifically denied that the president used the word AIDS or the word huts, the Times explained, quote, 2 officials who described the comments found them so noteworthy that they related them to others at the time of the meeting. This is obviously a very explosive thing to have reported about an American president, right? But you have these very, very clear denials of the White House in the name of all these senior officials. What are you going to believe? Well, door number 1 or door number 2, right? People who believe the Times is reporting obviously disturbed by these comments being attributed to the president. Right? These comments have very clear implications for the president's broader mindset, right? Frank Sherry, the executive director of a pro-immigration group called America's Voice, is actually quoted by the Times as saying that the president's immigration agenda is motivated motivated by racism, basically, in that he's basically saying you people of color coming to America seeking the American dream are a threat to the white people. This aggressive strategy of trying to reverse the demographic changes in America. There's somebody involved in immigration fight who says those comments from the president, that tells you where he's coming from. Policy on immigration, that tells you where it's going. Personal animus and bigotry. Right? It's disturbing. At the time that story came out at Christmas, you either believed the story from the Times, these were very disturbing quotes from the president, or you believed the denials from the White House, right? That it would be ridiculous to think the president would talk about it. Well, at the time that story came out at Christmas, which door did you choose? Who did you believe? The Times and their sources, or the White House? Well, now, tonight, we know which door had the truth. And what the White House had going for them on that first story was printed in December. Right? It was printed in December. It was about a meeting that reportedly happened last June. The White House never denied that the meeting happened. They just denied what happened in the meeting. And what they had...
Damn, they ain't gonna give me nothing, man. Fuck!
Saying all this allegedly racist thing. The one thing they had going for them was that the only other people who were
fucking joke, man. This is a fucking joke, man.
All Trump administration folks. And even though Trump apparently anonymously leaked word of what they had heard to the New York Times because they were at least somewhat dissatisfied and thought it was notable. In that room, right? Administration loyalists, senior officials. They all put their name on denials that it had happened.
Already got a body roundhouse, I think.
Well, now this time, what's being reported on is a meeting that happened not months ago.
Maybe.
It's a meeting that happened this afternoon.
Maybe that's a good card.
It wasn't just a meeting with people to whom the president has given jobs. It wasn't just a meeting with cabinet officials.
They need to give me more than that.
Today, the meeting was members of Congress in the room included at least one Democrat and a whole
That ain't good enough either.
The Democrat was Senator.
That ain't good enough either. They need to give me something better than that.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. Durbin and Graham had been working together on a
Come on, man. I got 5 more tries.
Program for the so-called Dreamers. Graham and Durbin arrived together.
In a purple, man.
But apparently also in the room when they got there were Congressman McCarthy, the number 2 Republican in the House, Georgia Senator David Perdue, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton,
Can I get a purple?
Congressman Bob Goodlatte of Virginia, chair of
Come on, BJJ. Come on, man.
All of those guys were reportedly in the room. I will tell you that we have contacted all of those members of Congress to try to get from them their confirmation that this in fact happened and that the president in fact said these things. We also want to find out, how'd you guys react? What'd you do when the president said this? If you can confirm that he said it. Right, we know at least somebody in that room reacted to what the president said. In the room, tell reporters.
Last one.
Josh Dawsey at the Washington Post was the first reporter to publish these alleged quotes from the president. Now, the New York Times and NBC News subsequently published their own versions of the story. The important thing so far is not denying that this is what the president said. I'm just going to tell you how Josh Dawsey laid it out in the story because he's the one who broke the news about this. Quote, Graham and Durbin thought they would be meeting with Trump alone and were surprised to find immigration hardliners such as Representative Bob Goodlatte and Senator Tom Cotton at the meeting. The meeting was impromptu. It came after phone calls this morning. Graham and Durbin came prepared to outline a potential bipartisan deal restoring protections for countries that have been removed from the temporary protected status visa program, while adding money for a border wall and making changes to the visa lottery system. President Trump grew frustrated with lawmakers when they floated restoring protections for immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and African countries as part of the proposed bipartisan immigration deal. According to 2 people who filmed the meeting, Trump said, I have to tell you, I am going to swear here. I'm not going to say it once, but I have to say it once in order to convey this. According to 2 people briefed on the meeting, Trump said, quote, why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here? And then he suggested that the United States should instead bring people from countries like Norway, end quote. You know, Norway, the country with all the white people that just bought an F-52. So, these remarks from the president today, this is not the typical granular stuff, right? This is not typical White House President Trump screw-up stuff. This is not accidentally calling it Norme. This is not lying about the size of the inaugural crowd. Right after the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia last year, when President Trump asserted that there were fine people on the neo-Nazi side of that gathering, one of whom is now on trial facing murder charges for deliberately driving into counter-protesters at that event and killing someone. After Trump praised people on the Nazi side of that gathering, House Speaker Paul Ryan was asked on CBS News how he squares his role as Washington's leading Republican with President Trump's views on race.
I think, like you say, like I said before, he's learning. I know his heart's in the right place. I've had some candid conversations with him about this, especially during that time. I've had some very candid conversations, and so I do really believe his heart's in the right place.
By that time, he means right after Trump praised the neo-Nazis at the Charlottesville riot. And John Dickerson interposes there. How do you know that his heart's in the right place? How do you know that? On what basis does Paul Ryan and other Republicans who support the president in Congress, on what basis would you think that the president's heart is in the right place on this subject? I mean, whatever your own views on the subject, the president has been nothing if not consistent on this subject. And you know, if we're being honest with ourselves as a country, we have to admit that we knew exactly what we were getting on this subject when he was elected.
At least 2 million, think of it, criminal aliens now inside of our country. 2 million people, criminal aliens. We will begin moving them out day one. As soon as I take office, day one, my first hour in office, those people are gone. Their days have run out. In this country, the crime will stop. They're going to be gone. It will be over.
The president has not made incidental, accidental, misspelled, screw-up comments on immigrants and race and religion. He has been very consistent, and he has shown himself very openly on this. This is integral to how and why he ran for president.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice. We have no choice.
That's who he was as a candidate. We knew what was coming. That's who America elected. But there is an institutional piece of this. There's a national piece of this which is not about him. It's about us as a country and us as a country under the rule of law. Because yes, it tells you something about a man to know that he talks and thinks this way and seeks advantage by stoking this, by stoking prejudice and stoking bigotry. You can take a measure of a man that way. But him saying this stuff now that he's president has consequences. It has negative consequences for him and for what he's trying to do as president to let those ideas of his loose in the world as the policy of the American government. On everything from the Muslim ban to who's allowed to sue him for his healthcare policies to the sentencing of Bo Bergdahl. On issue after issue and venue after venue, his prejudicial public statements, his verbal statements, his Twitter statements, all of it have been used against him in courts of law to stop him from getting what he wants. Because his public remarks, in many instances, reveal his preferred policies to be unconstitutional. Now, you may be able to put together a temporary restriction on visas from certain countries based on a national security threat that you're attributing to those countries on the basis of something you could prove to a court, right? But you can't have a ban that's effectively a Muslim ban if you also say out loud that what you're really trying to do is ban all Muslims from the United States. Once you're president, your public statements matter, and they can be used against you in a court of law. Mr. President, you have the right to remain silent about any of your policies. The fact that you haven't hurts you over and over and over again. Just this week, a federal judge administration to restore part of DACA. The judge issued a temporary injunction ordering the Homeland Security Department to resume accepting renewal applications for the Dreamers, right, for DACA, because of the president's ill-advised public remarks about that program and about those immigrants. His public remarks meant that his administration lost their ability to pursue their chosen policy on that subject this week, thanks to the rule of law. Today is the 16th anniversary of the opening of the military prison at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. George W. Bush is the president who opened it, so honestly that's on him, but by the time he left office, he was trying to close it. Barack Obama and John McCain ran against each other in 2008. They both agreed with George W. Bush that it should be closed. Barack Obama is the one who won that election. He then spent 2 whole terms trying hard to close Guantanamo. But neither he nor President George W. Bush was able to do it even though they wanted to. That said, a new lawsuit filed today on behalf of 7 men who've been held at that prison for more than a decade supports a pretty solid argument that actually the president who might be able to close Guantanamo is Donald Trump. Not because he wants to, but because in his public statements arguing that it should never be closed and nobody should ever be released from Guantanamo ever. And the Supreme Court has let Guantanamo stay open all this time, 16 years, but they've at least said that everybody needs to be adjudicated as an individual, needs to be treated on a case-by-case basis. Trump blew that up with his, forgive me, dumb public statements on Guantanamo, insisting that nobody should get out of Guantanamo regardless of the circumstances, treat them all as a group. He might be the one who closes Guantanamo. The White House is not denying this multiple source reporting tonight that the president demanded to know at an Oval Office meeting with lawmakers today why he should accept immigrants from, quote, loophole countries rather than from places like Norway. Why Norway? As we try to figure out as a country and as individual citizens what we can stand and what we can't, right? What stands as a typical day's new insanity, beat up, roll off, and what counts as a breaking point. One of the things that we can now factor.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC middleweight division fight. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight. So at least on paper, even matchup here. A lot of similarities across the board, evenly matched when it comes to the numbers. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Racist utterances and other unwise public statements will also be used to undo.
Well, it is a building long on combat sports tradition, and mixed martial arts certainly making its presence felt here as we get underway at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
That's a nice clean shot.
Oh, body kick attempt here, it's no good.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful kick to the body. A nice 1-2 with the right and the left. I like the way he mixed that up here. Attempts a big hook to the head, but misses.
Landed.
Good kick.
Oh, well, you know about his kicks.
Kick to the body. He's hurt. He's clearly in pain. He's trying to hang on there, but he is in big trouble. Kick lands to the lip. He's hurt bad. Back to his feet again. Amazing. Body kick. Look at that.
Oh!
Oh, both men exchange.
Man, Joe, he continues to leave that head open. His opponent's got to be salivating at this point in time. That jab has been there all night. You got to get that head off the center line. 3 minutes to go. Just misses with the jab there. And he lands the knee to the body now. Going to the body there with the right kick. Open with the jab. Lands the left punch now, followed by a right. Ooh, blocks the shot.
He's doing a very good job of parrying and blocking all the shots that are coming towards his head. Oh, lands, he is in trouble, he's stunned.
He's got him hurt here.
Whoa! Hard shot from the clinch. He's out cold. Beautiful knockout blow to finish the fight here.
Yeah, Joe, beautiful shot to end the fight right there. It couldn't have landed much more flush than it did, and I'm not even sure the opponent saw it coming, quite frankly. So near perfect execution on the strike that ultimately results in the KO here tonight.
Let's take a look at it from another angle here. This is the one that causes the knockdown and the subsequent follow-up strikes for the knockout. Look at this.
The White House did not deny its
Bang.
president's reported comments when it issued a statement from Principal Deputy Press Secretary.
And there he is after a massive knockout here tonight. Near perfect execution and a seminal moment for him here in the octagon tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Black Mamba.
So there he is, the man of the moment. Certainly maximized the showcase here tonight, Joey. Gets a big win by way of the knockout. Certainly kept the judges out of it here tonight. Perhaps some bonus money is coming his way, but there will be no wiping the smile off of his face tonight. He will party deep into the night with his friends, his family. A huge knockout turned in by that man here tonight. And he has set himself up for a huge fight now, moving forward inside the octagon.
Victims could get their day in court. And two, I wanted him to snitch on all his high-profile pedophile friends. Now he's found dead in his jail cell after he apparently committed suicide on Saturday morning. Which, if you ask me, is some bullshit. Right? No, because I wanted Jeffrey Epstein to stay alive. One, victims could get their day in court. And two, I wanted him to snitch on all his high-profile pedophile friends. Now he's dead. This is gone. You know who we need? We need that red lady from Game of Thrones to wake his ass up. That's what we need. Come on, Jeffrey. And what makes this whole Epstein thing even worse is that we already had questions about his whole pedophile operation. Now, we have additional questions about how he died.
This morning, the question on many minds. How did Jeffrey Epstein die while in federal custody?
Epstein had been taken off suicide watch and was supposed to have been checked by guards every 30 minutes, but that procedure was not being followed the night before he was found.
Sources close to the investigation say Epstein underwent a psychiatric evaluation, and they cleared him from suicide watch on or about July 29th, allowing him to return to his cell.
Yeah, they weren't checking in on Epstein, and they took him off suicide watch. Why? Like, I'm not an expert on psychology, but if someone tries to commit suicide, I don't think 2 more weeks of jail would suddenly improve their outlook on life. Now, you may remember, the reason this Jeffrey Epstein case blew up wasn't just because of the magnitude of his crimes, but also because his circle included some high-profile individuals. Everyone from way to famous scientists and even royalty. And because the story involves so many people who are so powerful, many out there wondering if Epstein really suicided himself.
This is a suspected suicide, and it just smells fishy to so many people.
The timing is so suspicious.
Coming up next, we get to this UFC middleweight division fight. Our tale of the tape for this much-anticipated middleweight encounter. Both fighters are 25 years old, with the same height and reach. All right, here now the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Orlando.
You ready to fight? Ready.
And we are underway.
Showing the punch.
Oh, that punch will count. Landed flush.
Oh! Big body shot there, too. Oh! Oh, he nailed him! Lands a huge kick. Oh! Unbelievable!
That'll do it!
Beautiful strike here to end the fight early in the first.
Yeah, Joe, near perfect technique to land that seminal blow to finish the fight here in round one. And that's exactly the way a fighter draws it up. You don't absorb anything in terms of significant damage, and then you're able to knock your opponent out. So this is exactly the desired result for him here tonight.
Let's see this again. Here we see it again.
Let's get it to Bruce Buffer now. He has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, my fellow patriots. I'm Kay Corley, former Navy SEAL platoon commander, sniper, and best-selling author of the SEAL Survival Guide. And I have something.
From Comedy Central's World News headquarters in New York, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah presents.
Drew, what up? What's going on, Drew?
President Trump does before bed at night, and it's even worse than you think.
This week's New York Magazine reports that Trump and the Fox News host...
Coming up next, a matchup for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Division title. Our tale of the tape for this Women's Bantamweight Championship fight. 4 years apart, with the same height and a similar reach. All right, here now the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Dan Bergliata. This is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Saitama Super Arena in Tokyo, Japan.
All right, here we go. UFC Women's Bantamweight title is on the line. She missed with that jab. And she misses with the left punch there. Oh, beautiful leg kick by her there. Can't take too many of those. Changes her stance.
Nice shot. Just missed with that huge kick.
She blocks that offense, Joe.
Look at that nasty jab.
Well, her opponent worked the body to great effect there, Joe, but she left it wide open. She moved forward somewhat carelessly, and she has become increasingly more susceptible now to that strike. Let's see how it plays out here moving forward. She's going back to the jab. She blocked the punch.
Very good defense on display here. Very good blocks. Missed that shot.
Oh! Huge kick to the body. Able to check the high kick. Southpaw stance to orthodox now.
That one hurt. Slightly deflected.
Wind it up on the right there to no avail.
That's a nice clean shot.
Well, that left hand has been there for her tonight, not on that attempt.
Doing an excellent job blocking here.
Oh, she blocks the punch. Nice outside leg kick there. Effective jab there by Nunes.
Excellent head movement. Attempts a big hook to the head, but misses.
Takedown attempt is good.
Throwing those legs up. Throw that leg down. Look at this though. Oh!
Oh! Slams her to the ground. So just as you thought maybe she was tightening up on that triangle choke, she gets absolutely blasted to the canvas.
Good shot to the head. Into full guard. Half guard.
Round one winding down here. Round two next.
Stop. You ready? Let's go.
Round two here. All right, so round two is underway here. Both women had their moments in that first round. At times, it looked like they were feeling each other out, and there is a lot of mutual respect here, though. So maybe you thought the crowd got a little bit restless at times. Ultimately, these fighters are both elite. A lot of respect on both sides. We'll see if they get after it here to begin round two. And she continues to circle towards the
You gotta
right.
be careful when you throw the same technique over and over and over again.
Oh, how about the switch kick to the body by Nunes?
And lands a good shot. That bruising on her torso is getting a lot worse.
She blocks that offense, Joe. Splits the guard and connects there. Well, she ate that hook shot like a champion, Joe, but she's got to be careful moving into her opponent's range, largely unguarded. She is
done. This could be it.
Whoa!
Oh, very nice.
No, right hand. Well, she has landed some very significant strikes, but as yet, she has still been unable to string together anything in terms of a solid combination. And it is going to take strikes and punches to get an opponent of this caliber out of there. Let's see where she goes from here. Well, she was a little bit hesitant in round one, but she has certainly picked up the pace here in this second round. It took her a while to find her rhythm.
This could be it right here. Body kick, look at that. Might try to finish this fight here. Oh! Nasty combinations here.
Big knee to the body.
This could be it.
Nunes' uppercut to the head. That one, though, blocked by the defense.
Clean jab. Wow.
Oh!
Man.
Whoa! Nunes gets up and decides to take this fight back to his feet, despite having a seemingly dominant position on the ground. Now closes the distance. And there comes the separation now. Oh!
Dirty.
Wow!
Hard straight punch.
Right under that right elbow.
She's out. Oh!
Unbelievable!
Wow. Wow.
Let's get
God, Drew, I'm burning out today, man, if you're still watching. Oh, man. Trying to get these daily objectives, and then I'm out of here, man.
Of the story, White House staff know that the calls happened thanks to the president entering a room.
How you been, Drew? Oh, I want to show you something, Drew. Check this out. Check this out, Drew.
How are you both the president?
I made this yesterday. Hey, I need to get a sentiments of what people think about which one looks the best. Does the king of commentary on the right crown look the best? Or does the king of commentary on the left with the darker crown look the best? Which one looks the best to you there, Drew? If you notice, if you look at the crown on the right is lighting up. You know what I mean? The crown on the left isn't lighting up, but I like the darker golder crown, the darker image. But then on the other hand, the right-hand side looks pretty damn good. I don't know. What do you think, Drew Oliver? What do you think about the king of commentary crowns?
Kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Malmo, Sweden.
Okay, I'm thinking too.
And with the action beginning, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean has drawn the assignment here. And here we go. Well, that body kick was there earlier, not there on that attempt. With conviction to the body.
Caught him with a punch.
Nice job to avoid the clinch. Both guys throwing potential fight enders here in the early round. Oh! He's got him hurt here.
Nasty combinations here.
Oh! Wow!
Up to his feet.
Big knee to the body. Oh, he's playing with fire here, Joe. He continues to be vulnerable to that jab by almost leaning into it right into his opponent's range. Gotta find a way to move those feet and ultimately get that head off of the center line.
Oh, he hit him with a big knee.
Oh!
He is in big trouble here. He's really in pain. Oh! This could be it. Oh! Whoa! He hurt him with that punch from the clinch. Back up to his feet. Good defense there.
How about that shin?
The southpaw fighter facing the orthodox fighter always has the advantage of the back leg kick to the body. It opens up that liver kick because the left kick lands on the right side of the opponent's body, which is a very vulnerable area.
Well, there's a swing and a miss. His cardio is really abandoning him at this stage of the fight, and sometimes when you miss, it can tax your gas tank even further. So let's see if he can preserve some stamina and try to figure out a way to get back in this fight.
He's blocking almost all these shots.
Lands with a knee to the body.
That one hurt.
Just missing on the high kick there.
He lands a huge elbow to the head.
Knee to the body. Looked like it did stun him a little bit.
This could be it right here.
Big
Huge elbow to the head lands. He's stunned.
So under a minute to go here in what has been a competitive and action-packed first round.
Inside leg kick.
Big knee to the body.
Body kick, look at that. Excellent defense here. Really good job blocking all those shots coming at his head.
unable to connect with the right.
And he lands the roundhouse. Nice knee to the body.
Right hand upstairs. Going to the body there with the right kick. And the fighter lands again.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Round 2 straight ahead. Oh, what a way to end the round. Saved by the bell. He got stunned by a huge shot right before the horn. And now, a little bit gingerly, he makes his way back to the stool. And he's only got 60 seconds to recover here. So we'll see if his corner, physically, mentally, can keep this fighter in the fight.
Let's see it one more time.
Not only was his favorite comedian found guilty, but then the man he picked for Veterans Affairs was forced to withdraw from consideration.
The beautiful Jenny Andrade to get us going.
Results came back and they confirmed that he's 50% Eric. So, Trump did what everyone does when they're feeling down. He called into a Fox News morning show, and it was honestly...
Hey.
Because nobody thinks Trump is a bad thing. Trump watches Fox.
All right, round 2.
That last round was absolutely insane. Both guys hurt on multiple occasions. If they continue it this way in this round, someone elbow lands to the head. He's hurt. He's stumbling. Oh, very nice. This fight is dangerously close to being stopped.
Oh, straight right.
Nice knee to the body. Oh, what a leg kick.
And both guys really throwing with authority. Oh, multiple strikes landing here. He has certainly found the range here in this round. Nice defense there. Huge block. Oh, he lands another strike to the body. Really starting to connect on a lot of shots to the midsection. And these will take their toll as this fight goes into the latter rounds. Elbow lands for him. Blocks the shot. Man, that eye is so swollen now, Joe. This is becoming a real factor in the fight. No doubt his vision's impaired.
He's checking every single one of those. He's doing a great job of blocking things here.
Man, as he landed a high volume of strikes here in round 2, definitely picking up the pace after round 1. So he got the message from the corner.
Oh, big left hand.
He's got him hurt here. Oh, heavy leg kick there. Not sure he can take many more of those, Joe. Oh! Well, he wants to clinch, but...
Oh, we heard him again. He's got to be careful there. Don't rush in. Oh, he got tagged. Nice leg kick. Big shot. Oh, he hurt him. He clipped him. He's in big trouble.
Trying to stay in the fight.
Him.
An elbow.
And he's down. Oh, another one. He's rocked.
Oh, he might be out. Well, Joe, he seems to have his opponent's timing down. He has landed some good shots, but nothing really in terms of multi-shot combinations, and perhaps that's why his opponent's still standing. So,
oh, another shot. He's hurt bad. He's in big, big trouble. This fight is dangerously close to being stopped. Oh, he hurt him again.
And just like that, the fight is over.
Fucking motherfucker. Motherfucking piece of shit. You fucking lucky fucking faggot. Fuck, man.
I would rather have the popular vote because it's much easier to win.
It's a totally different set of goals as opposed to electoral college.
But we have an electoral college.
Right.
I got 306 and she got, what, 223? So remember, there was no way to break 270. I heard that on CBS and NBC and ABC. They're all fake news. I heard that for so long. It's CNN.
Let's talk about
You're better than people thinking of
Mr. President.
You know, it's right.
Right. Well, we could talk to you all day, but it looks like you have a million things to do.
television. The only excuse they could come up with was that Trump probably had important things to do, when it was pretty clear that he absolutely did not. He was like, no, I actually have the whole day free. After all, it's Melania's birthday. It came out last week that Trump's personal Cohen, who is now in deep federal investigation shit, only had 3 clients in the past year. Right? The president, who Cohen helped to pay off a porn star that he had an affair with. His second client, a major GOP fundraiser named Elliot Brody, who Cohen also helped to pay off a playmate that he had an affair with. Right? And then Michael Cohen had 1 more client. Right? Out of 7 billion people, who could have wanted to join this club and use Michael Cohen as a lawyer last year? Only 1 other person did. And this person's identity was a complete mystery until today.
We are now getting word the lawyer for the president, Michael Cohen, has just disclosed in court that the client who had requested to remain unnamed was Sean Hannity of Fox News.
Yeah, it turns out Michael Cohen's secret client was Sean Hannity, which, I'm sorry, is not a good look. You know, right now, Sean Hannity's probably on the phone with his wife, like, hey, honey, it's so weird how I use the guy who pays off mistresses to get me out of that parking ticket. It's funny, right? Hello? Just think about how unethical this is for a moment, right? Hannity has been reporting on this Michael Cohen story from the beginning. But he conveniently never mentioned that Cohen was his guy. And I'll tell you what else. Once you know that Hannity has personal skin in the game, like with Cohen, it's fun to go back and look at everything he said about the FBI raid. That Hannity wasn't just mad, he was scared.
President Trump's longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen, just had his office, his home, and his hotel that he was raided by the FBI today. This is an unprecedented abuse of power. Cohen's payment is a perfect with a number of
Coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup. And here is tonight's tale of the tape. 4 years apart, with the same height and a similar reach. Here once more, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight
is the most electric, and it comes just as his lead ride to the new national.
All right, we are underway here at the home of the UFC, the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Oh, she blocked the punch.
Nice shot.
Beautiful kick there.
Very nice knee.
Oh, she landed that punch, Joe. Overhand attempt, now it's blocked by Nunes.
Good left hand. They have started this fight off with a brawl. Oh, nice.
She blocked the punch.
Huge
big elbow there.
to the head.
Oh!
Oh! What a leg kick.
Well, that hook shot landed to the body there, and that is not what she's looking for defensively. I know she's confident in her ability to take a beating, but you don't want to take too many of those shots to the midsection. There's the kick.
Here's that jab.
She blocks that offense, Joe.
Doing a fantastic job of blocking shots.
Kick to the body is there.
There's a nice exchange.
Oh!
This could be it. Big straight punch.
Knee to the body.
Nasty combinations here.
Inside leg kick is good. Oh, straight right.
The southpaw fighter facing the orthodox fighter always has the advantage of the back.
Oh!
This could be it right here. Vicious combinations. She might try to finish this right here.
safest bet to beat Donald Trump. The core of this message boiled down to just a few seconds from that. Take a listen.
Joe Biden is running for president with a plan for America's future. To build on Obamacare, not scrap it. To make a record investment in America's schools. To lead the world on climate. To rebuild our alliances. Most of all, to restore the soul of the nation.
Two key things in that ad, I think, Craig. Leaning on the vice president's service in the Obama administration, Obama still remains an enormously popular figure among Democratic voters, particularly Democratic caucus goers in places like Iowa. And the second, the use of polls within the ad, making the argument that Biden is the best equipped to beat Donald Trump. Everywhere I go in this country, that remains the thing that Democratic voters tell me. They may have strong preferences about certain candidates or others, but at the end of the day, they all want to beat Donald Trump. And as long as Joe Biden can keep banging that drum, I think we're going to continue to see him overperform in these early state polls.
Restore the soul of the nation. Garrett, is that going to become the new tagline for the campaign?
Well, it's been part of ironically, Craig, that has been meant to be part of the tagline from the word go. The campaign has gotten caught up fighting back against Kamala Harris, chasing down things about the 94 crime bill, not able to make that argument consistently. That has been the point that they have wanted to make from the word go, to set up incredibly high stakes for this race, a battle for the soul of the nation.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC middleweight division fight. Our tale of the tape for this much-anticipated middleweight encounter. More than a decade separates these two fighters when it comes to the age, with some differences in height and a similar reach. All right, now with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
There's a look at the crowd there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC.
Criminal justice reform, another plan from the senator from Massachusetts. What more can you tell us about it?
Here we go. Opens with the left hand and lands flush.
Dropping down, looking for a single.
Back to his feet.
Nice knee to the body by George.
Oh, back to the knees he goes. That'll count.
And he lands the roundhouse.
He's got him hurt here.
Last takedown. Oh, he got reversed.
Oh, straight right. Oh, he left his head open there, Joe, and he got cracked with that jab. He was almost moving into it. So let's see if he can switch up the footwork here, Joe, and make the requisite adjustments. Oh, and he connects there. And they clinch. And they separate. And he connects there. Shot is blocked there by GSP.
Oh, double jab. He's doing a great job of blocking things here.
GSP gets caught with that punch. He'd be wise to get those hands up.
Excellent exchange there.
Back to the tie clinch we go.
Beautiful technique there.
And Dizzy as he looks to improve position here. St. Pierre getting touched here repeatedly with these ground and pound strikes from the top. Referee's not going to bail you out. Oh, and he lands another takedown there. He's already landed several in the fight and really doing a great job with these takedowns, not telegraphing his shot. Back to the canvas now here.
Now he's in full guard. He's stuck in half guard here, but he's landing some nasty combinations. Excellent movement on the ground here. Constantly moving, constantly staying busy.
Strong bottom work here, staying busy.
He's got to protect himself from the ground and pound, though. Side control. He's got half guard. And back up again.
Nice knee to the body there by St. Pierre.
He's doing a great job of moving and transitioning here on the ground. Full guard here. Oh, he gets reversed.
GSP getting worked here, Joe, from the top. He's absorbing some fairly significant damage.
He postures into place. He lands a big shot from the bottom.
20 seconds to go. the air. Gets caught with that punch.
Half guard here.
Round 2 straight ahead.
And there's a nice knee to the body. And here's another knee to the body. And here's one more perfectly placed shot to the body.
I would take their role in vetting the presidential candidate.
Big round.
Extremely.
Distance control. The rest is gonna take care of itself. You ready, dude? I know you are. It's time, man.
The beautiful Jenny Andrade getting us going. All right, second round underway.
Now, starting off this round, you've got to think that the barrage that he endured in that last round is still affecting him. He's going to want to start this round off and move and avoid taking any damage.
Right hand upstairs. Left punch followed by a right. Nice 1-2 there by GSP.
George stops that.
Back to the feet now. Oh!
He's in big trouble. Excellent movement and transitions here on the ground. Staying busy. And back to his feet.
How about that shin? Well, he misses with the left punch there.
He's keeping his head protected here. Excellent blocking. This could be it.
Man, has his chin been tested early.
Big straight punch. Flying armbar.
The sheer will is really remarkable to watch.
He's in guard here.
Oh, nice strike for him on the ground here, Joe. Just over 2 minutes now to go in round 2.
Slides his hips forward. He's gonna lean back. Nice. Pops that leg out of there. Hip escape. Gets out of the full mount. Big shot from the bottom.
The ground strike's starting to pile up.
He's working from full mount again. Look at this. He's out of it. Mounts again. Postures up.
St. Pierre's lower jaw is extremely swollen now.
Hip escape, nice hip escape. He's landing some serious ground and pound strikes here. Oh, there's a good shot from the bottom. Back in the mount, this is crazy. Tagged him with the right hand there. He hip escapes, he's out of the full mount. Nice sweep.
And he's back up again, so the takedowns have been there, as have the get-ups.
Excellent movement on the ground here, always trying to better his position.
Oh, he found the target there, Joe. Nice punch. Round 3 next.
Here's a vicious kick that results in a knockdown. Let's take a look at that again.
Thank you very much, Carly Baker. Third round underway. Now he goes for the single leg. Well, he's already attempted several takedowns here tonight, Joe. Look for him to try to set up another one here.
Lands a glancing right hand upstairs.
Oh, there it is. Can't say we didn't see it coming, but nicely executed there nonetheless. And defensively, leaving a lot to be desired with this approach.
Excellent movement here on the ground. Big elbow on top.
Over and over, that elbow finds its home.
He's now working from side control again.
St. Pierre getting peppered here from the top. He's got to figure out a way to cover up. Oh, so an interesting decision there as he decides to stand up and relinquish the dominant position. Well, we wondered earlier why there weren't as many body strikes. He's looking up for lost time here. Shot to the body connects, and that bears watching. That's going to hurt this opponent.
He avoids the clinch.
Pretty good knee to the body by George St. Pierre.
That one hurt.
That shot is blocked by GSP.
Oh, there he connected.
Oh!
He's very wobbly. He's trying to hang on.
Joey missed with that straight right attempt.
There's the tie clinch again.
Now goes in and secures the takedown.
Into side control. He's in half guard.
Gets up again here, but hurting.
Misses the takedown.
Man, look at the redness starting to appear. Oh!
And moves it to half guard. Back to his feet again. Amazing. Nicely done to avoid the clinch.
We're not sure if he's lighter on his feet or what it is, but these last couple of rounds, he's been far more aggressive, a lot more pressure. Oh, he's really starting to light him up now. Well, it's one thing to have length, it's another thing to use it, and he does it as well as anyone. Nice kick there by GSP.
He's checking every single one of those.
Oh, he's going back to the tie clinch now. GSP gets caught by that straight punch. His defense has abandoned him tonight.
Tagged him again.
Oh, he brought that offense, Joe.
Excellent takedown defense.
The final horn sounds.
This is where you need really educated judges.
I think I got 5 takedowns on that bitch. And I let him win the fucking fight. I could have won that fucking fight. I could have easily won that fucking takedown. Or that fight. Easily won that fucking fight. I had him in the fucking elbow position, but I wanted to get the goddamn takedowns.
One
so
huge
I didn't elbow
strike
him
to
to
the
fucking
head.
death.
But the official decision is...
It's all good. I needed those fucking takedowns, man. I got all my takedowns. I'm happy about that. So I just got to win 2 fights with a brawler.
Coming up next, we get to this UFC middleweight division fight. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight. Silva is 17 years his senior.
Here we go, first round, you ready? You ready?
Matchup of southpaws here.
Oh!
Opens up with a front kick.
Really missed with that right hand.
So the distance closes here. They will clinch her.
Huge elbow there. He's stunned.
He's got him hurt here.
Oh, look at this. Who saw that coming?
Wow. He's out.
Beautiful KO for the victory early in the first.
Yeah, Joe, that was the perfect shot right there. We didn't even get a feeling out process here tonight, and we say it all the time. Sometimes when you catch a guy cold before he's had a chance to get going in the fight, it can have a bigger effect. It certainly had a huge impact here tonight as he gets the win by first round KO.
Let's see that again. Oh, man. KO.
Well, what a moment for him here tonight. A huge knockout on one of the sport's biggest stages. That is one they'll be talking about for some time. Now we go inside the octagon. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Hey, I interact with my guys right now, but I'm just kind of hanging out right now, Jordy Wings. You know what I mean? I'm right here with you guys, man. But, you know, I'm just kind of doing these objectives right now. I don't know about you, but this game is a little frustrating for me, man. It's a little frustrating. Is there anything about that? Is there anything about that Drew Oliver? Is there anything about that King of Commentary that you think that I should change? Is there anything you should think? You know what? I'm gonna get on the Jordy said that I don't interact with you guys, so this is what I'm gonna do for Jordy real quick. Hold on, Jordy. I'm coming to you right now, Jordy. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna interact with you right now, Jordy. You get to see me live. Okay? This is what we're gonna do for you, Jordy. I'll grab my coffee over here real quick. And I'm going to go live for you. Jordy, what up, man? I don't want to put my motherfucking green screen up for 2.5 seconds, so we just going to go just like this. I got to get ready for work anyway. You guys will probably see like a little thing in my head right now. What up, Jordy? Jordy, you say I ain't interacting with you, man. Right now, man, I'm just kind of hanging out, man. Just playing a little UFC, getting my little UFC objectives going on right now. Not really much going on over here. I got to go to work in a little bit. I got to go handle my business. Right now, you see my commentary booth right now. I got it set up right now. I could flip it over to the live right quick. Boom. And you can see the live and I can go right back and switch back and forth. But anyway, man, there you go, man. I can pop the green screen up. You want to see how cool the green screen is? I'm going to show you how cool the green screen is. Watch this. You know you guys are going to see me in my pajamas, but it's okay. This is how quick it takes, Drew, to put this green screen up, bruh. This is how awesome this Elgato green screen is. Watch this. Anyway, you say I don't interact with you guys. I pop my green screen up in the background. You know what I'm saying? I got to move it over a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I just wanted to pop it up for you just real quick to let you know what's going on. You know, we do live commentary over here, man. There you go, Jordy. Hey, show you some love, baby. You know what I mean? I'm here with you. I'm interacting with you. I'm just, like I said, I'm playing a little UFC. My game is right there. I got a couple of more objectives I got to do. And other than that, man, there you go. Hey, Drew, tell me that green screen isn't the most bombest. If anybody's going to do any streaming, the Elgato green screen that I have behind me is so awesome because it literally takes 10 seconds to put away. Like, so fast. Just boom. You unclip the 2 clips. You know what I mean? Lift it up. You know, you want to put it away. You just push down on it, cover it up, and clip it up, and it's done. You know what I mean? It's absolutely phenomenal, this green screen. But, there you go. What do you think of the King of Commentary? First of all, let me put it to you like this, Drew. I had to find a crown. Basically, I looked up a regular crown online, just a regular gold crown. Then on the right-hand side, if you look at the right-hand side, that crown is glowing. Just the crown is glowing. You can see on the right-hand side, the King of Commentary, they're blinking. But if you look at the crown is actually glowing. So I had to make the crown glow, Drew. And then once I made the crown glow, then I had to go in with the crown. And then I had to create the King of Commentary neon with the crown. So it was actually 2 little videos that I had to put together in order to implement the King of Commentary with the glowing crown and the blinking sign. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You know, we got I got so much goodies over here, man. You know, so many goodies over here, there, Jordy. You know, you want me to interact with you, Jordy? I'm gonna interact with you.
Everyone had the plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Oh, you know what? You can't see it because I got the King of Commentary up here. Let me see if I can.
Everyone had the plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Let's see. There's one. Let's see. If
Everyone had the plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Ooh, Homer Simpson is right there. Homer Simpson's not coming up.
Everyone had the plan.
See, every once in a while, I might have to restart my my Streamlabs or exit or delete a picture because I have so many.
Everyone had the plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Let me delete him. Let me get him out of here. I don't want to hear about your.
Everyone had the plan until they get punched in the mouth.
There we go. All right. Anyway, what the hell just happened right there? Okay. Anyway, so. Yeah, man. Well, I live in Vegas. Jordy. And I interact with real people. You know, I interact with real fighters. I don't know if you've seen my 3-minute video, but, you know, my little intermission video, but I will show you something real quick. Show you something real quick to let you know that I'm the real deal over here. You know what I mean? I don't play around over here when it comes to hanging out with fighters. Check it out right there. This is the live footage, Jordy, with real fighters. You know, you guys get an opportunity. I set these videos up for you guys. You know, I set these videos up for you guys on purpose. Anthony Smith in the house. Robbie Lawler in the house. I'm trying to get it in, Jordy. You know, I do have another channel, Jordy. It's called Mike's Live. You need to go to my other channel and hit that subscribe button. If you've never been to my channel before, please hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. We do a lot of beautiful things over here with celebrities and UFC fighters and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of people just have stagnant channels and they just stream gaming. We do real shit around here. We interact with real fighters. Look at Brian Ortega. Got John Jones for you. You know, Drew, I love the shit out of you, man. You've been a big-ass supporter for the whole time. Now, I did also, Jordy, have something special is I made a cartoon for UFC 241. Basically, Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic and Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis. Now, I want you to understand, Jordy, that all these cartoon characters that you see, Michael Buffer, Dana White, all of these were real characters that I made into cartoon characters. I spent a lot of time making these characters into cartoon characters to make, to make my first cartoon kind of look good. Eventually, I'll have all the mouths moving. On big venues, I'm going to have a cartoon on every big venue with all the fighters. If Israel Adesanya's fighting, I'm going to have a cartoon of Israel Adesanya. If Robert Whittaker's fighting, I'm going to have a cartoon with Robert Whittaker, and there's going to be basically a screen show, a slideshow of commentary with the fighters. Oh, yeah, I've done everything from scratch, brother. Everything that you see on my stream, I've done on my own. I've had no help. Absolutely no help on this. I wish I had help. The cartoon will be done in a minute. One of my favorite, I've got about 3 or 4 favorite characters. I think I really did some good highlights on Anthony Pettis. I think Anthony Pettis looks phenomenal. I think John Jones looks phenomenal. I think Max Holloway looks phenomenal. I think El Kukui, Tony Ferguson, there's Max Holloway right there. I think Max Holloway looks phenomenal. You're going to see El Kukui. El Kukui is spot on. El Kukui is spot on. If you look at El Kukui, look at his cauliflower ears. Yeah, you'll see. We got the only female that I made, which was Valentina Shevchenko. It's a little bit hard to make females. I do have Brian Ortega saved up, ready to go. There's El Kukui, man. El Kukui turned out so awesome. I mean, just look at him. Look at his eyes. Like, if you look at El Kukui, his eyes are looking at you in his soul, his little droopy eyes. Anyway, man, I'm going to turn this off, man, and go back to the fucking spot for you guys real quick. Let me turn this off. But anyway, man, But anyway, as soon as we get back, get back to the live, you see El Kukui on there right now. You look at his cauliflower ear. His cauliflower ear looks phenomenal. I'm going to wait till till I can see you guys after you've seen the video, because it's over now. All right, anyway, there you go. There I am. You get a chance to see my man over here. My man Jordy Wing said, Mike, he's kind of unsociable. He don't talk to nobody. I'm right here, Jordy Wings. I'm right here, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when I'm playing UFC, I don't have my camera on. I got my camera right here, and I have my other camera that I could use if I'm streaming. I could use my other YouTube camera and stream or whatever, or bring my camera over and put it in the front. Then the process of me doing that is a little bit bigger process than me just coming to my table, my computer table right now, popping up my green screen and talking to you guys like this. So, but hey man, I'm a lover over here, man. Jordy, I'm a lover. Turn the notifications on, man, and let's go play some more UFC, man. So anyway, man, I don't know what happened to my Daniel Cormier, but let's see if it works. Oh, Spanky's not working. That's what's wrong. Spanky's not working. Spanky, how come you ain't working, Spanky? Spanky's not working. I'm going to have to put Spanky back in there. Yeah, Spanky's not working. We're going to have to put Spanky. Let me see if I got Spanky. Yeah, Spanky's not working, damn it. I don't know why Spanky's not working. Spanky, where you at? Yeah, Spanky ain't working. Anyway, That's what I'm talking about. Turn them notifications on because we're going to be doing some live commentary and stuff like that for some fights. Whether it be boxing, whether it be UFC, whether it be, Bellator MMA, it doesn't make a difference. Whenever there's a good event coming up, especially boxing, good or UFC, good boxing events are strong for me. If I can get a good fight, a good boxing match, usually I can get 10,000, 20,000 views if I'm lucky, so anyway, I got to go back and fight, man. I'm going back to UFC. I'm only going to play for a little bit longer, then I got to go to work. So, Drew, I ain't got nothing but love for you. Anyway, you see all the little goodies we got over here, man. You see all the fucking goodies we got over here, man. The king of commentary, baby, getting it in over here. You see what's up. Anyway, back to live. We're going back to live UFC. Let's go. Hey, my green screen's down. Hey, my green screen is down, and my green screen is put away that quick. All right, back to UFC. I'm only going to play 1 or 2 more fights, man. In the meantime and in between time, I'm talking to other guys about maybe getting a little bit of help in my stream. I've got a kid, one of my best friends, Drew. His son plays fucking Fortnite, and he's got 7,000 subscribers, and he's not even getting paid on his channel. The kid has got 7,000. Listen, one of my best friends put a Fortnite video out for 5 minutes. A 5-minute long Fortnite video 1 year ago, he had 997,000 views. Basically 1 million views on a 5-minute Fortnite video 1 year ago. So he picked up probably on those on the 1 million views, he picked up a lot of subscribers. A lot of subscribers. Like my best friend said that his son picked up 1,000 subscribers in a week. So, I'm like, wow, we need to collaborate with him and get him on my account playing Fortnite so I can get those subscribers up so I can get monetized on my second channel. That's the key. The key is to get monetized. Right now, we're not monetized on this second channel. So if I can get him to come to my channel, play Fortnite on my channel for like a week or 2, and then have all the subscribers build up. It doesn't make a difference if they're kids and they watch Fortnite. The objective is to get 1,000 subscribers. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, then I'm paid. It doesn't make a difference. Then that's when the commentary comes in. That's when the live commentary and all the views from the live commentaries come in where I get paid because I'll be monetized. Well, I appreciate it, Jordy. I appreciate it. I really, there's a lot of things, Jordy Wings, that I'm trying to do over here to make my stream appealing to other people. I'm trying to do a lot. You know what I mean? I see a lot of guys, they get tons of subscribers, and a lot of them are just streaming little video games, and they're a bunch of kids that like to watch PUBG and Fortnite. These guys, what's the biggest YouTuber out there? The biggest YouTuber out there is known, or the second biggest YouTuber now, is known for fucking playing video games. Are you serious? That dude's making like $50,000 a month playing fucking video games and putting fucking tutorials and shit up there. I don't know how many, 37 million subscribers or 100 million subscribers these guys got? I mean, wow. I'm going to continue to show the effort. Hey, Jordy, I need you to go to my main channel, bro. You need to go to my main channel, look up Mike's Live, and hit that subscribe button on my main channel, because my main channel is going to be back up in 3 weeks. So I'm not going to be streaming on this channel so much. I'm probably going to give this channel to my buddy's son and have him work this channel to get 1,000 subscribers, and then I'll take this channel back.
Next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup. And here is tonight's tale of the tape. 4 years, the difference in age between these two fighters, with the same height and a similar reach. All right, now for the introductions, we go to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC Bantamweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 110 pounds. Fighting out of Lisbon, Portugal, Assassin. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, Amanda, the Lioness Nunes. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Murgliata.
So Dan Murgliata shares the cage.
You ready? You ready?
All right, ready to go with live action here from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Opens with the left hand and lands flush. She blocks that offense, Joe.
Ooh, that's a powerful body kick right there.
Opens with the left hand and lands flush.
They have started this fight off with a brawl. That one hurt.
Oh! Now she's got the Muay Thai plump.
She went for a flying armbar.
Brilliant submission defense there.
Intense. She's in full guard now. Looking for a triangle, throws one leg over the shoulder. She popped out of submission.
Working on another submission attempt here.
To the armbar. Very nice transition. And she's out. She gets out. And she's inside control. Oh, look at this. It looks like this submission's locked. Could be it. Oh, look at that. Slips right out of it. Working from side control. Big punch from the bottom.
The elbow there. Trying to stay heavy here as best she can.
Nice punch to the body. Into full guard here. Excellent movement on the ground here. Constantly moving, constantly staying busy.
Strong bottom work here, staying busy.
Excellent movement and transitions here on the ground. Staying busy.
Past the 2-minute mark in round 1. Continues to apply pressure here in half guard.
That's a big shot right there. Side control again.
Oh, she knees the body here in side mount. Well done.
She's in full mount again.
That punch is good.
Posture's up.
Well, you don't want to spend too much time fighting off your back, Joe, but pretty good work here from the bottom by Nunes.
Oh, that's it. That's it. It's over. It's over. They're stopping the fight. Wow.
She couldn't handle that ground and pound.
And it was from a volume.
Hey, I appreciate that, Jordy.
She just kept throwing.
She couldn't handle that ground and pound, baby.
Finally gets the TKO victory.
Yeah, it was that one big strike that started it all, the beginning of the end, you could say, and I think the referee made the right call stepping in here. There was the knockdown, and then she beautifully followed up with strikes to make sure that the end would come shortly thereafter. So I think everybody did their job except for the defensive.
Have you ever been to Vegas, Jordy?
At the very least, will
you ever been to Las Vegas?
Here now, Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
grab one more little cup of coffee, mamas, and then I'm done with the coffee, baby. One more cup of coffee. Drew. I gotta be careful, mamas. I don't want to step on you sitting right there. Yeah, I got a little bit more time, Drew. A little bit more time. You know, Drew, I need to figure out, who's on the next fight card, brother. You know, so I can start creating these characters for the next fight card to create the dialogue. But I need a big fight. It's got to be a couple of weeks. It can't be this coming weekend or some small fight. You know, the only time I'm going to create those the cartoons are only going to be on big fights. So Daniel Cormier and Stipe and Nate Diaz was a big fight. I created a cartoon. The next one I'll create. You know, Robert Whitaker, fucking Kobe Covington, something like that. Yeah, I appreciate that sub on my other channel, man. This channel is going to be a secondary channel, Jordy. My main channel is the main channel. We made a little bit of mistake and got a little copyright strike from fucking YouTube and UFC because of some videos that we had up that we didn't think that we were going to get struck on, but we got struck on them anyway. The good thing is, at least my channel didn't go down. I had 3 videos up that were all shortcut videos. What about Cejudo? What about him? Cejudo, definitely. If Cejudo, oh, you know what? I don't even have Henry Cejudo, do I? Ooh, I don't even have Henry Cejudo. I know I said to myself I wanted to make Max Holloway and El Kukui. I did a goddamn good job on them. I've got to get my Drew Oliver. This is fucked up, man. My Nightbot is not working for shit. You understand? I got all this chat up here, and my Nightbot hasn't fucking popped up one fucking time, bro. God, I can't believe I can't get a fucking fight, man. This is unbelievable. See, this Nightbot should be on this shit. There, Drew Oliver, the Nightbot should be in the chat, man. This is really driving me crazy. And I can't get a fight. I've got to get out of this 1500 slump view with these fucking views, bro. Triple C. The fuck is Triple C? Who's Triple C? I made Valentina already, Drew. Drew, you coming in with these one-liners. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. You say Cejudo, and then you say Valentina, and then you say Triple C. I'm not understanding the one-liners, man. I'm trying to get one more KO, man. Then I get all my objectives done.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup. And here is tonight's tale of the tape. So a more than 5-year gap between these two fighters when it comes to the age, and they both possess a similar height and reach. Bruce Buffer. are underway. Opens with the left hand and lands flush.
Really missed with that right hand.
She blocked the punch. Boy, not clinch here, Joe. Could be trouble. Oh!
This could be it. Body kick, look at that. Oh, big shots. Powerful right hand. Oh!
Wow! Well, she got kicked flush to the body there, Joe. Right underneath her elbow, right underneath that guard. But it almost looks as though she's moving right into it. So until she makes the adjustments, she can figure her opponent.
Oh! Beautiful! This could be it right here.
Now goes in and secures the takedown.
Into half guard again. Triangle. She made a transition from the triangle to the armbar. She may have to tap it. That's
and
it.
There it is.
That's it. And here's the end of the fight.
All right, Drew, I'm going to probably, I got to jump in the shower and get ready for work. I got my daily objectives. I appreciate you coming on the stream, Drew. My man that was on the stream, I appreciate you coming over here, bro, and hanging out with me. I will be on later on, but I got to go into work today. Jordy, I appreciate your time. You guys do me a favor. Drew, try to get some subscriptions over here, man. Try to get some subscriptions over here. We're trying to hit 100. You know, we got to get 100 subscribers over here ASAP. So, anyway, I don't care. Tell your friends, hey, man, go subscribe to the channel because it really is about getting those 100 subscribers. Once I get those 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers, Drew, I will get the views. You understand where I'm coming from? Let me come and talk to you real quick so I can talk to you before I leave. Before I leave, because I want to talk to you. I got a little bit of cup of coffee with me. And let me talk to you. Because it's very, very important, brother. Look, it's very important. I got to jump in the shower and shave and shit. It's very important, Drew, that I get 1,000 subscribers. You know, you got to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have so many hours of views. That the hours of views are going to come 100% when I start doing the main commentary on a regular basis. Those views, that's going to come so quick. Because that's a qualification, is that you have to have so many hours of view time, blah, 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 whatever. But the idea is to get those 1,000 subscribers in order to get monetized. I can't get paid on this channel. And if I get blocked on my other channel again, then I'm back to square one again. I was getting money from my other channel every day, Drew. It was a little bit of money, but I was getting a little bit of money every day. So they blocked me for 90 days. I guarantee I missed out on $100 minimum. Minimum $100. I mean, that's like minimum $100. I mean, I probably could have missed upwards to $500 in the past 3 months that I've been banned. So the objective right now, Drew, is to try to get this channel right here with all your friends. I don't care if they turn their notifications on or not and they don't want to come and see, but to get them over here and to hit that subscribe button. Once they hit the fucking subscribe button and YouTube sees that there's 1,000 subscribers, then I qualify to get monetized. Everything else will fall into play after that. But the objective is to get those 1,000 subscribers. Another thing, too, you can't do any live streaming on my phone. I can't do any live streaming on my phone unless I have... Holy shit, it's 10:20? I can't do any live streaming on my phone unless I have 1,000 subscribers. So, for example, if there's a live event that goes off right now, I can't go on my phone and stream it. I can't go on my phone and stream it live, and it's very important. During a live event, I can go on, if something happens live in Las Vegas, I can go on live on my other channel. Boom, we're streaming live on YouTube, guys. Boom, boom, boom. We got a live event going on, you know, and it makes all the difference in the world to be able to stream live. It makes all the difference in the world. So the objective is we got to get people to the stream, Drew. We got to get your brother, your sister, your mama, your friends, everybody. I don't care who it is. You got to get multiple names. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it. Shit, I don't care how we do it. We got to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you make another name and hit the subscribe button, that's fine. Have your other friends make another name, hit the subscribe button, that's fine. Right. This one is the secondary channel. See, this one is probably going to be... This channel is probably going to be eventually the commentating channel. Maybe, depending on how many subscribers we get on this channel and how quick we get them. Or this is going to be the gaming channel. One or the other. Either Mike's Live is going to be the commentary channel, or it's going to be the gaming channel, or this is going to be the commentary channel, or it's going to be the gaming channel, vice versa. But the bottom line is I got to separate the two. It's such a pain in the ass, you don't realize how much of a pain in the ass it is to retitle. Every time I want to fucking play UFC or every time I want to play Ghost Recon, now I switch my game. Now I got to come back over here to the computer, retitle it, put a new thumbnail up there, blah, blah, blah. I got Mike's Live. I have my title. For example, if I on my main channel, if I'm doing nothing but live commentary, I've got that already set up with the live commentary. So I don't have to really do anything like that. So if the live commentary comes up, I go to that channel. The hashtags, you know, will probably be the only thing that I really need to put in there, and maybe the thumbnail. You know what I mean? On the gaming channel, I'll have everything that's the gaming stuff on the gaming channel if this is going to be the gaming channel. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is I got to have backup. If I get copyright striked again, I got to have backup to where I'm getting paid. I've got to have backup to where I can stream again and stream live. We had crazy stuff that's going on around here in Las Vegas, and I need to stream that shit live. I can't even stream it live. Come on, man. So, anyway, that's the idea. We got to get this damn channel up. We got to get 1,000 subscribers. I've got to get everybody and their mama to make multiple names, and I don't care what you do. Like I said, just get me to 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, I'll handle everything from there. You know what I mean? Once I get to 1,000, I'll handle everything from there. But, you know, hey, this is, like I said, this is the secondary channel, and we're not getting paid on it. So for 90 days, we're fucked. We're not getting paid. We could be getting super chat. We could be getting PayPal. And I could be getting monetized, having ads come up on my videos. We're not getting none of that. You hear what I said? No super chat, no PayPal, and we're not getting monetized on any of my channels. That's 3 hits that we're taking. We could get PayPal because I do have a PayPal account set up on here, but I'm not posting PayPal like that. Another thing, too, my Nightbot is supposed to be popping shit up. You know what I mean? And the Nightbot's not popping shit up, but I need to set the Nightbot up for the PayPal link so the PayPal link pops up. For example, when I do a live commentary on this channel before the other one opens up, I'm sure there's going to be one more live commentary I'm going to do. I should have the PayPal set up on the Nightbot to say, okay, if you guys want to donate to the channel, hit the PayPal, blah, blah, blah. And that shit pops up every 7 minutes or something like that in the chat. But anyway, man, I got to go. It's 10:20. I got to be walking out my house at 11 o'clock, man. It's 10:25 right now. I got to be walking out my house at 11 o'clock. I just wanted you guys to know that I've been working hard. You see the king of commentary in there. You know, I know you guys are going to say, a lot of people are going to say, hey, yeah, it really does suck without that. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, why did you put a K on commentary? You spell commentary wrong. I know $1 million, I'm going to have multiple people say you spell commentary wrong. You understand where I'm coming from? I'm going to have them say that. Mike, why did you spell commentary wrong? Commentary is with a C. I understand it's with a C. I did it with a K for a reason. You understand? It's got to have a catch to it. It can't just be king of commentary with a C. You know what I'm saying? It could be King of Kings, K-O-K, King of Kings. You know, I don't know. But anyway, man, you get to see my house right now in the background. Normally, I would have my green screen up, but it's all good. You guys get to see the kind of shit that I'm working with over here. I got so much shit over here. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I got to go, guys. I got to go. Hey, all you can do is try it, man. Make a couple of names and throw them on there. Hit that subscribe button, man. Let's get up to 100. The key is to get up to 100. Then we got to get up to 150. Then we got to get up to 200. But we got to get up there quick. We got to get up there quick. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers in 6 months. And if I have my best friend's son's help that plays Fortnite, I'll give him this account and he could play on it. And I'll prop his channel up and put the right emoji, right stuff in there, and then maybe go to his other channel and tell everybody on his other channel, hey, come to my second channel and hit the subscribe button. So all his 7,000, 8,000 followers will come to this channel while he's playing. They'll hit the subscribe button, and eventually, tick, 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 we'll have 500 subscribers. Tick, 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 700. Then we'll have 1,000. Once we hit 1,000, I take my account back, and we go from there. But anyway, there you go. That's the deal. We're going to try to have my son, my best friend's son, that has 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 subscribers. He's got 1 million fucking views. How do you get a 5-minute video that's a Fortnite video? I looked at it. It's just him in a house just hanging out with some guys. You know what I mean? Giving each other slurp and shit like that. The little purple slurp. 1 million views. 997,000 views. 1 million views. 997,000 is 1 million. I don't care what anybody says. That's 1 million views. You get 1 million views. This is my best friend's son got 1 million views. You know how hard it is to get 1 million views? He got this a year ago, so that means that it's had a chance. These people have, obviously had 997,000. I watched it, so now he's got 997,001. So people are continuing to watch his video. And then, like I said, it took a year for him to get 997,000 or 1 million views, but he's got videos on there with 17,000 views where he's only streaming for like 45 minutes. And he's streaming fucking Fortnite. So, anyway, I got to go, man. I got to shave, and I got to get ready to go. So, I appreciate you, Drew. Matter of fact, Drew, what you should do is send me a message on PSN. When I go to work, if you send me a message, we could chit-chat on PSN, on the little PSN network. Anyway, I got to go, guys. I ain't got nothing but love for you. You guys do me a favor. Stay up and stay blessed. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and go make another name and hit the subscribe button again. Deuces.